Alright, so this video covers a remix that I did on the Tedeschi Trucks Band. They did a cover of the song Everybody's Talking, and it was a nice, soulful, bluesy cover, but didn't really have the same feel that I wanted, so I just completely chopped it and rearranged it. But I guess I'll show you. I went here in Dilla Music. Where is it? Right here. In DillaMusic.com. They had this remix contest, the Tedeschi Trucks Band. You can download all the stems or whatnot. The stems actually kind of suck because it was a live recording, and you can hear a lot of bleed in the different instruments and the recordings, but you can still work with them. So yeah, Paul and we entered this contest, and then yeah, we ended up with two different styles. Mine's a little more hip-hoppy, it's a little more funk. But yeah, I'll just show you what I did right here. So I guess I'll play a nice little chunk of this track right here. Alright, so yeah, you got a feel for the type of spin that I put on this track. Let's take a listen to how it originally sounded over here.
Everybody's talking at me. I can hear a word they're saying, only echoes of my mind.
So yeah, you can see that's the original feeling that this song had to it. So I'll start off first with the vocals right here and what I did to those, and pretty much I would just go through the stems. So I have a stem right here. Let's start playing it back, and
people stop and staring at me. I can't even see their faces, only shadows of their eyes.
So I would play it back, and then I would listen for little segments that I would, assume or that I felt like stood out more than the other different parts of the vocal, and I would chop out those little segments, and I would take them and I would use them as building blocks or glue to form new phrases and new sounds from this vocal. But it still has the same timbre of her voice because it's coming from her. I'm sampling her, but she's going to be saying different things, or it's going to come out in a different way. So we have this little segment right here. Let's listen to it.
Going where the sun keeps shining, oh, through the pouring rain.
See, I heard that oh, and that's something you could definitely use. Let's listen.
Oh, through the oh.
So yeah, you could definitely sample that, stretch it out, chop it, turn it into a beat of some sort. So let's take a nice little sample chunk right here. We'll take this section, oh, through the pouring rain, and we'll take a copy down here, and then we'll copy it over a couple times. So we have a couple instances of it to work with. We'll do it 3 times, solo out this new track that we copied it down into. And here's a little trick that I actually found out on this one. You could take a vocal and then throw the stock Ableton, one of these stock Ableton live devices. In this instance, we're going to use the beat repeat. And I opted for this preset called Vocal Fun. So let's drag that onto this track and see what this does to it. So let's play it back.
Oh, through the pouring rain. Oh, through the pouring rain.
Play it one more time.
Oh, through the pouring rain.
So pretty much what I did is I did this process a number of times. I would find vocal segments that I really liked or that I felt like stood out from the rest of the pack, and I would chop them out and I would run them through this beat repeat, and I would adjust the offset and the grid and the chance. I would actually throw the chance up a little more so it was always hitting and always varying that sample. But you could see how just by doing this you can create original variations on what you already had there to begin with, and it's something new, it's something different. So I did that with a bunch of different vocal sections, and what I actually did is when I was playing it back, I would record this track So I would send, the output to another different track that I set up. I would name it record or something like that, and then record the output of these samples running through this beat repeat to that new track, so that I actually have, physical audio files of whatever that manipulation did to these samples. I would have those stutter edits to work with. So that's the process of what I did with those vocals. Thing that I did in this track that I tried out for the first time was I used this Addictive Drums drum sampler, and yeah, I love this thing. This thing is great. It really gives you a lot more control over how your drums sound and the feel of them, and just it comes chock full of all these different grooves and a bunch of different kits, and you could just go through them, just play them back, try different ones. And then you could even go in and edit the different types of snares, the hits, just every little thing about this. So stop playing back this. We'll see what I have. You can actually, it's great. You could find a beat you want and then just drag it in here. Like this. And it'll just totally change it up. Well, let's undo that because I don't want to change up my beat. But you could play it back, and then another beautiful thing is they have fills already built into it too. So if you want a funk fill or any other different type of fill, you could just drag it on in here like I did right here. So let's play back this beat. Alright, another thing that I did to kind of sweeten this up, because I felt like the kick didn't really stand out, I made a copy of this beat track right here with all the different beats laid out and arranged. After I mixed the kit, I made a copy of this track, and I actually labeled it sub. And what I did with this one was I soloed out just the kick drum. So you can see this is the Addictive Drums unit on the sub track. Only the kick drum's playing because I soloed that out because I only wanted to hear the kick. And then I EQ'd it. At some point I filter it and I layer this in behind the other drums to really add a nice pumping thump so the kick really stands out. Another thing that I did, we'll pull this track back up, is I set a side chain from this sub track right here to the bass right over here. So we'll pull up the bass track. You can see the sidechain compressor right here. Pull up the sidechain. You can see the audio is from kick send, or actually I didn't use that kick track. I had another track that does the same thing pretty much, except it's on sends only. So there's no physical output coming out during the track. It's just acting as a send. So yeah, that kick drum sample gets sent to this bass compressor and compresses the bass whenever that kick drum sample hits. So let's take a listen to how this sounds. We're going to take a listen to just the beat itself at first. So we'll play that back. It's soloed out. And let's add the sub. See how it really beeps up the sound? Now, I went over, the whole dynamics of the sidechain compression, in videos before. I'm not going to go over, the intricate little details again. You could just know that I set up sidechain compression and it's compressing the bass so that the bass stands out a little more in the mix. So I'm going to go over the bass track right now, and the stem that I originally downloaded that came with the track, it was alright, but this guy was kind of all over the place, and the tone really wasn't quite there, and I tried manipulating it, and it didn't sound like I wanted it. I'll play back what it sounded like originally. This is what it sounded like. This is an excerpt that I sampled. So I thought, okay, well maybe I can kind of chop that up. So I went over here earlier on in the track and I kind of chopped it up a little bit and I ended up with this. But I played it back with the track and I just didn't like it. It was Bad News Bears. So I just, I decided, okay, I'm going to axe this. I pulled up an omnisphere patch You know, I'm not going to do it now. I didn't save the patch. I just started manipulating things. Ended up with a cool sound, and I got something that sounded kind of like this. I did a little bit of chopping, but this is the basic bass line that I came up with. I'll play it back. So yeah, I thought that, you know, it sounded infinitely better with the group than the one that was there. You know, I'll XY them right here for you. That's my beat. This is the original bass. Let's go back to mine. So right here in this little gap, I have an outro, or a breakdown section that kind of leads into the outro section of the track. So I guess I'll play it back for you and then explain what I did. Let's take it from here. Man, my computer's trying to keep up, but yeah, so this is what I did. I have these two samples right here, verse vox, and this other one down here, BG chorus. And what I did is I continually increased the automation curve. Oh, you can hear that plug-in. Let's cancel it. I continually increased the automation curve, the amount of the gain in that automation curve, so that by the time I wanted the track to cancel out or to cut itself out and just have that ringing echo, it reached maximum capacity. I guess, how am I trying to say this? It had 0 dB. The gain was at maximum level. And what that did is it allowed this spaced echo plugin. You know, I'm automating the gain to space echo down here. And I'll pull up this plugin. That's the one that gives you that effect. I've used this so many times where you get that ringing, you know, wah, 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 that echo that compounds upon itself and just gets louder and louder and louder. And then eventually you could cut it all out and then bring the beat back, and you've got this really dynamic transition going on like I had here. But to sweeten the deal on this one, I went up to the beats right over here and I threw this Filter Freak on right in front of the beat, or after the actual drum sampler plugin. So let's pull up Filter Freak, and you can see this little red light here. This red dot shows you that I have an automation curve on it. So let's pull it up. I'm on the beat. Let's go to Filter Freak 1, and I automated the frequency and the amount of the mix. And I did a basic, you know, filter sweep. I started, and then I started closing off the filter. You know, we'll play it back. So yeah, you can see the curve down here. The filter starts, it's completely closed, and then it starts opening itself and letting more and more of the frequencies out. We'll play it one more time. And yeah, you can use that trick to get yourself a nice little transition and, you know, add some dynamics and some tension and release to your tracks. But yeah, as far as I can see, this is, you know, pretty much, you know, some basic commentary on what I did here. You're probably going to learn a little more if you actually dig through the actual track itself and start playing around with it, you know, resample it, you know, do whatever. I hope you guys like the video. We're going to keep putting out more on our website, smore.com. You know, you're obviously checking out the YouTube channel. If you like it, subscribe to us. We're on Twitter at beatsandsmore, or you can email us, beatsandsmore@gmail.com. You know, comment us. You know, we'll keep making these videos, and yeah, that's about it. You know, take it easy until next time.